Okay, guys, I wanted to make a video on this. It's a bit annoying where we're at in some of these divisions. So I want to start this off by saying that I think that Islam Makhachev has done enough to warrant I want to move up a weight division and fight for that belt. Now, the reason I want to make a video about this is because it pisses me off that Islam hasn't already campaigned for that fight against Belal. So if you guys remember, when Belal won the belt against Leon, he made a comment that I would never fight Islam. What was interesting about that is that same question got asked to Islam, and he actually, I have to try to find the clip of it, but if you guys remember this, Islam didn't actually seem like he was like against fighting Belal for the 170 belt. Belal said, "Oh, he's my brother. I never want to fight him." I just think that that's a load of bullshit. And I know that they've trained together. I don't think they're that great of friends. I really don't. And the reason why is because the way I would look at it is, at the end of the day, in that business, you are a fighter. So you have to do and fight. Like, it's not a team sport. You're going to have to fight friends at some point, maybe. Now, I guess the way that I would look at it is that if you've cornered a fighter, that's a different story. Like, for instance, I'll give Aljo and Merab a pass. The two of them have cornered each other in almost every one of their fights, I believe. So, like, that's a tight-knit relationship. These two are, like, very close, and so, like, I can understand not wanting to fight your friend there. In the case of Belal and Islam, I don't think either one of them have ever cornered one another in a fight. And so, in my opinion, waiting to see what happens in the upcoming fight between Belal and Jack Della Maddalena, I feel that it's a crock of shit, because it's like, if Belal does win, Islam should have to fight. If Islam wants to go up to 170, he should have to fight Belal, is how I feel. I personally think, and I'll say Belal's grown on me. I think he's been pretty funny. I really liked his response, although it was pretty savage. Because it sucks to see that Jack Della Maddalena is doing that fundraiser. I do understand it, and I don't know if he's necessarily doing it for the money aspect, or if it's like it's also a kind of like a community outreach thing where he's building up his brand locally, being able to meet with fans and stuff. But I think that it's a tough thing when it's like a fighter who's fighting for a title is not able to, afford those things. But you have to remember that Jack's been out because of injury, probably having to pay for a lot of different things. Family guy too, he's having kids and stuff, so like he needs all the money he can get. So like I can understand him not wanting to go and break the bank, trying to pay for all these flights, and it's not a cheap flight from Australia to where they're headed. But what I'm getting at is Belal making that comment, to Jack, I thought was kind of savage and kind of funny about like, oh, enjoy Spirit Airlines. So Belal is definitely, winning me over with some of those things, but I feel like the reason Belal said I will never fight Islam, he can say at face value, and maybe he actually believes it, that, oh, it's because we're brothers, right? They're both Muslim, they've trained together. I think it's because Belal knows Islam's a nightmare matchup for him. I think Belal knows Islam gets the better of him in that fight and would win. And that is the real reason he is saying, I don't want to fight Islam. And you can hide it behind the whole, like, we're best buds type thing. I really don't think Belal stands a chance against Islam. Like, I would love to see what you guys all think in the MMA community. Do you think that Islam would melt Belal? Like, do you think he would just own from start to finish and take him down and do whatever he wants? Because that's how I feel. I know Belal has great takedown defense, but size-wise, I don't think that Belal is going in there with much of an advantage size-wise. And I think that Islam is a more skilled fighter, and he's a more skilled finisher. So I really don't think Belal would be able to neutralize that ground game that Islam would bring to the fight. And I don't think Belal is going to knock him out or hurt him on the feet enough. So I feel like if the two of them were to fight, Islam gets that. I actually think that Islam against like a Jack Della Maddalena, or even like, other welterweight contenders, it's actually more of a unfavorable matchup, because I just think that Belal Belal has good striking, but he doesn't have striking that is like a finisher type striking. He's not as much of a threat on the feet in terms of getting finished. He's definitely a threat on the feet because he has very good technical boxing. I just don't think that he would go into a fight and have a threat against Islam. Whereas Islam, I think, has a bigger threat of hurting Belal on the feet and then also controlling it on the ground. Now, you go up against a Jack Della Maddalena as Islam. Jack Della Maddalena has way better hands and also that ability to finish on the feet. I think that it's an actually worse matchup for Islam. So I can respect, I guess, that the two don't, if the two of them truly believe, like, I don't want to fight the other, I kind of feel like, though, Islam was actually open to it. But after seeing what Belal said, I think he was like, okay, like, I don't want to have to fight him. Like, if he, you know what I mean? But I think that the big reason Belal doesn't want to do it is because Islam would get the better of him. And that's just my opinion. Let me know what you guys think about that. I would love to hear some comments about what that matchup would look like and if you think that Islam would best Belal or the other way around.